From water deep to Icewind Dale, unlikely friends fight tooth and scale. A little faith, a lot of rage, to bring the summer back again. Now roll the dice, see how they fall, don't waste your action. Bonus action. Heroes, tortured and trapped within the mist, hunted by horrors from out the abyss. We've seen friends fall, but must endure, survive to see the sun once more. Now roll the dice, see how they fall, don't waste your action. Heroes.
Hello and welcome to Bonus Action Heroes. We are kicking off our Out of the Abyss campaign once more. Hello everyone, how are you?
Hello.
Prepared for some antics, I hope.
The joy on everyone's face.
I know. Well, it's been a while. It has been a while. In the last arc of Out of the Abyss, the party had entered Neverlight Grove to return Stall, the young Myconid, to his people and his home, whereupon they found it had been infected by the demon queen of fungi, Zuktmoy. After a rather tense encounter that somehow did not result in any deaths or capture within the party, they and the Myconids fled. The Myconids through some sort of earth portal, and the party on their ship, the Yasva, heading back out into the Dark Lake. There was some heavy discussions. They lost one of their own, Eldith, and hoped to revive her somewhere, and there was the difficult decision about whether to return once more to Gunthilgrim or to head onwards to Blingdenstone, the Sverfneblin city to the north. I think it's safe to say they turned back and forth several times before they finally decided to go to Blingdenstone, but I'm still not really sure if that's where they're going to go, let's be honest. But yes, they have several dead in the bottom of their ship, in the makeshift morgue that Malice has created. Gentle repose on all of those bodies to stop them perishing. So we join you now on the ship, the Yasva.
I forgot how utterly bleak this situation is.
It is quite
Everyone's
bleak,
dead.
isn't it? Everybody's dead, Dave. Over to you. You have all leveled up. You are level 7, by the way, so congratulations.
Hooray!
We did agree where we were headed, didn't we?
We're going to Blingdenstone.
Blingdenstone. Oh, that's right, yeah. That was quite a back-to conversation, isn't it? But that's where we're going, right?
Hemeth estimates 3, maybe 4 days at most to get to Blingdenstone if you head to the north. It's uncertain whether the ice sheet that you encountered on the way in will also be there on the way back. You also managed to kill the succubus, if I recall correctly, so you no longer believe that there are any kind of imposters or shape changers on board. You also destroyed the possessed doll taken from the ship, the Grey Ghost. Although you have lost a few, hopefully there are no inside threats.
Yeah, there was some they've been hanging over us for a while. Those issues. So let's get them out of the way. Just going to check my notes. See if we've got anything written down.
We've been through some hard times, but moving forward, does anyone know Blingdenstone? Has anyone been there? I'm asking the goblins too, and Hemeth.
I lived in Blingdenstone for a few months, 2 or 3, I think.
What can we expect? Are they
Matthew,
as lawful as Gracklestug?
Matthew, what can we expect at Blingdenstone?
Blingdenstone is similarly to many other cities in the Underdark. It was under Drow control at one point, and the Drow did largely deface and destroy a lot of it. Much of the city in recent times is being reclaimed by the Sverfneblin, but it is still not fully established, and it is still not fully repaired. You do know that it does have, although it is not it's not functioning correctly at this time, it does have a canal which joins onto the Dark Lake with a series of locks which will allow even quite large ships back in the day to traverse directly into the city. But it's not known whether that is well, it wasn't functional last time you were there anyway, that's for sure.
Would have been quite some time ago. I will relay all of the information you have just shared to everyone else to save me having to repeat the same information. But yes, we should be able to find a dockyard at the very least, potentially, to set the ship up at. To dock the ship, rather, I suppose, is the proper term.
Are we in need of any repairs? Are we in good shape? Ship.
I mean, it's not the best ship in the world, but it's better than when you got it.
Fair enough. Okay.
So I've been reading
What are we going to do with your ex-girlfriend?
Well, we're keeping her on board, I thought, for the time being. I've been poring over Victor's notes, trying to figure out a way to try and undo some of it. I've even started to grasp the rudimentary basics of inventing in the same fashion as he has. Well, not exactly in the same fashion. I'm not going to start turning people into strange prisoners and brass abominations. But I'm starting to get a little bit inventing down. Well, I imagine if you took what's left of the people inside the little contraptions, it wouldn't be the prettiest sight, but no, I suppose abominations kind of paints a picture of people who were in the situation and weren't responding well to it, and were being a bit murder hobo-y.
From behind Tink, I'll try and catch Jodie in the eye. Oh, stop!
Yeah,
Stop digging!
I apologise, Tink. I forgot you were in that same situation. It was most certainly the proper term to use.
Apology accepted. You might want to apologise to Yasva as well. I assume she's just there, hanging around.
She is at the back of the ship, watching from the back of the ship. Hemeth will. Yeah, I have been to Blingdenstone, but we did not manage to get into the canal. It's rather treacherous, I will say. It is not fully repaired. But the people of Blingdenstone are very, very friendly and hardworking. I do not think we will have any trouble there as long as we do not take trouble to them.
Hemeth.
Good.
Yes, have you finished digging, Drogen?
We're at sea. How can I dig?
It's the conversation before. It's a Dwergar saying.
Oh, no. Fair enough. I just wanted to say, Hemeth, I like you. You've been very helpful. I'm sure we're all very appreciative of the help you've been providing.
Okay, I'm going to go. I've got some jobs to do. Goodbye. He awkwardly walks off.
You weren't there for that HR meeting. Kenneth doesn't respond well to praise. He prefers to be told to do things in an angry voice.
As he walks away, I'm getting used to it. I'm just adjustment period. And he just keeps walking.
Did he say he's on his period?
He said an adjustment bit.
Oh, I completely misheard that. I'm very sorry. My ears are not as good as they used to be, it seems.
Malice starts adding notes to Drodin's files.
HR file.
Oh dear.
Well, he's gone now. But I was going to ask Hemeth, but you've been there, Jordan. Perhaps you can answer if the canal is non-functional.
It wasn't
Does
last
that
time
mean-
I was there.
Well, you still might know the answer. If we have to leave the ship at the start of the canal, how far is it away to Blingdenstone? What is it? Almost none.
Let's
What
have
is
a look
another
at the-
thing?
Let's have a look at the map and try and gather. Oh,
Is it a day on foot or?
It's probably half a day to a day on foot.
Okay.
You might do it in less than half a day if the canal is open. And if there's sufficient breeze. I think Drodin, you would know that they quite often use giant lizards to pull back in the day, although you never saw it operational. They would have used giant lizards to sort of pull the boats up into the city.
righto.
Darendil will come clambering out of the hold. Are we, I kind of have a weird feeling. Don't know if anyone else does. Can't really describe it. Like feel sick in my stomach. And not like seasick, but, you know, like an ease. Anyone else? No?
I think you're just a naturally anxious person, Darendil.
I do. I mean, what we saw, that a demon lord, queen, I don't know the terms.
Oh yes, the mushroom lady.
I mean, she's out there. She's still out there. And that great big two-headed thing that we saw in Sloobledoop, that's still out there as well. Are you not
Do you have a way
concerned?
of contacting people in Gracklestug? Or does Blingdenstone have a king? What's the political hierarchy there? Who should we report that to?
I don't know. Is the simplest answer. I never really dealt with the castings. I was more shut away in a little workshop learning about magic. That's where I mangled my arm.
I mean, you would know that, Drodin would know that they do have their societies organised based on their roles in society. So you tend to have certain, and it is quite separated on sex. Last time you were there, did like males seem to do certain jobs and females seem to do certain jobs, although it was usually the females were things like judges and lawyers, and a lot of the intelligent and a lot of the men just were miners.
So a bit like Drow society, but the males were a bit more in the labour roles.
But it's not matriarchal or patriarchal. It is just people do the roles that they most enjoy doing, and it tends to fall that way. So there is no like forced. All of their government is structured based on democracy, so they will have guilds for each of the different functions of the city, and those guilds will nominate who leads them for a number of years. So they are very democratic, and very reasonable.
Is it predominantly gnomish?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so,
Yeah, but they do trade with pretty much anyone that wants to.
yeah.
They're generally known for being fair-minded, friendly, maybe a little distrusting, but that's just common sense in the Underdark.
But you're right, we should warn these people the dangers, assuming they don't already know. I hope they don't already know, because if they do, then they could be in the same situation as Slipperywood or Adelight Grove. I hope that's not the case, and they have some time to prepare, make defences.
I'm also concerned that if they're aware of these things happening in the rest of the Underdark, they might be sufficiently guarded that we might struggle to get inside. But that's something we're not going to find out about until we get there.
If we have a few days left to go, we should probably take shifts on watch to look out for any of those flying things. We've got the tower here. So far it's been pretty hairy.
Very true. I think we've all got individual tasks we can do in our own time as well. Considering I've been reading Victor's notes, I'd like to take a look over Jasper and possibly Tink, if you're okay with it, just to try and see if there's anything that looks a bit out of place, or try and get a bit more of an understanding on how some of your instruments work.
Oh yes, of course. And she'll just open up her face.
It's horrific. It's like musculature, veins, obviously her eyes, but yeah, no flesh.
I think it's just a moment where he just kind of like sucks through his teeth. And like, we'll deal with this at a more appropriate time, I think. When I'm a little more mentally and spiritually prepared to contend to looking at a flayed face.
Whatever suits you. Well, stop standing about then. Hoist the mainsail, scrap the decks, and all the other things that ship people do.
Already halfway up the mast of the crow's nest.
Okay.
Still sitting in my little armchair that's still on the deck for some reason. I just open my book, open Victor's journal, and just start reading.
Is there anything, if consider this almost like a little bit of downtime, is there anything anyone wants to do or research or anything at all before we move on?
I would like to do the checking over Jasper and Tink when there's a bit of a moment that isn't too intrusive on either of them.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll probably be doing the same. I'll be looking at his notes as well and wanting to understand.
Okay. Yeah. Anyone else?
In this instance, Tink, we're each other's research partners. It's been too long since I could appear.
Whose name will come first on the paper?
It depends which one of us writes it.
I'm not going to get into this.
When we get... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
Say, Matt, I sent you a question just to clarify something, if that's okay. It's in Facebook chat.
Yeah.
Is it when did Droden become such a problem character?
Oh, I know the answer to that.
Nothing's changed.
In the next few days, does Malice turn into a were-rat?
Maybe.
In amongst the pile of corpses in the bottom of the boat, there should be a gnome from the fight with Bubido. Did we ever get his
Drocky?
name? Drocky.
Rocky. Yeah, well, that was who the succubus was pretending to be.
Thank you.
Which is sad, because I liked Jockey too.
But you did get his
He was
boots and his
dead.
bag of holding.
Oh, who's got those?
Don't recall.
That's a very good question.
I'll also look over my Dwergar training manual for sailing. 723 detailed steps to becoming a naval captain and mock exams.
Sweet lord.
Yeah, I'll let you roll a. What would it be? Would it be survival, wouldn't it? I don't know. You probably don't want it to be that, do you?
Malice would probably help do
Fine.
like these quizzes if I can offer help in this situation at all.
You can indeed help. Okay,
Whatever
right.
anything to help.
So let's begin. Yeah, if you guys studying Yasfer and Tink with Drodin, so you can either individually roll Arcana checks, or one can roll it and the other can help. It's up to you entirely how you want to
I'm
do
happy
that.
to help. I am one of the subjects.
Very well, I will roll this with advantage then. And watch me get double ones. It's a 26.
That is pretty good. You spend a few days, probably, of the journey trying to read and then examining the augmentations, these magical mechanical augmentations that Yasfer and Tink both have. Yasfer is even more modified than Tink is, but one thing you instantly realize is that their hearts are exactly the same, and indeed their hearts are probably the key to all of this. They are mechanical, magical, and although they beat, it's not the same. It's a mechanical pulse that comes from it, and you can actually see the magical energy radiating when you do. I mean, with the 26 between you realize as you're reading through the book that these hearts have a destructive capability. As Tink knows, you can activate them and they cause great destruction in a small radius. But what you realize is that this mechanical heart is drawing its energy from other planes, nearby planes, and using it destructively. And that could potentially be dangerous. It could weaken the walls between worlds. And you spend a few more hours as you realize this, and as you study further and you begin to understand the book and decipher his equations and magical formula, you realize that these hearts are something else as well. It reminds you very much of a phylactery in reverse. Anyone who holds one of these hearts also has the capacity to hold another soul. What that means, you don't know.
I'm more concerned, largely at the moment, about the potential. I don't know how many these Victor's made, but you have one, Tink, and Yosfa has the same one. I'm left wondering if the unfortunate Dragonborn we met in the Intricate Requiem had a similar one. And if that's the case, how many of these hearts are in subjects of Victor's? I'm trying to be incredibly delicate with my wording. Are out there in the Underdark, or perhaps even on the surface, that could potentially, at a moment's notice, as soon as they realise they can, set off a very significant bomb.
I don't have an answer for you. Perhaps if I get more visions, I might get a better idea, but they all seem linked to myself and the repairing of my soul as opposed to anything that can help us learn more about Victor.
Just somewhat concerned Victor may have inadvertently created a way to turn the Salt Coast into a post-apocalyptic wasteland.
Well, I feel in control of it. So, unless Victor has some way to control us, and from what I saw he didn't, or he would have used it, whether we self-destruct is up to us.
But my concern is there might be enough people there that one person at some point might go, I'm just going to do it. And that creates a significant problem.
Well, at least we can easily recognize anyone like us.
Yes, there is quite a good visual clue, isn't there?
I can't currently do it. I'm not in possession of a soul.
You don't have one in the chamber, so to speak.
So, just bear that in mind if you're about to take someone's life. Just call me over so I'm in the vicinity.
It's rather morbid, but I'll keep it in mind. Right. I'm going to continue reading this book and drawing up some designs for something. I don't know. Might have to try and figure out a way to put some of this skill to use.
As you're flicking through the book, talking to Tink about this, you see a page with a diagram of all of the planes of existence, and you can see that Victor has intentionally circled some of it with red ink. And there is a link between the Feywild and the material, which he has for some reason circled.
Might just ask you for a full list at some point of all the other realms that he's circled.
Sure.
Just so I can do a bit of research.
He's only circled that one.
Oh.
Well, that makes perfect sense. If what I have seen is true, then we were friends and I was from the Feywild, and we would want to be able to come and go between one another's planes.
An alternative concern is if he is creating these things and he has such a distaste for you, as Yasva said, he might be creating weapons of mass destruction to send to the Feywild. And then the intention is the bombs will go off there. Potentially level your home.
Inspiration for Jim.
Ooh. Now I feel smart.
Well done.
Equally, considering how these creatures seem to be finding their way out of the abyss, opening a portal right next to us by accident wouldn't be
Advisable.
But I don't know that I can control that.
Probably the excessive usage of drawing on energy from the Feywild as well that might have weakened the barrier between the material plane and the abyss enough for all of these things to get through anyway.
Oh, good, it's all my fault.
I'm not saying it's your fault, I'm saying it's Victor's fault. Science has consequences.
As you are flicking, as you're talking, further still, Tink takes the book and you're looking at some of the diagrams. And again, I'm going based on a 26. You see there's a passage on one of the pages. It has a diagram of the heart, and then the diagram of another magical item, which It looks like a helmet or a brooch of some kind, and then underneath it just says forced mind transfer.
I will take out my brooch and compare.
It's a helmet, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll put my brooch away.
But the book seems to detail that anyone, effectively, he can potentially transfer his consciousness into anyone with a heart, should he perish, effectively.
Oh, we're walking
Victor can.
phylacteries?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Well, whoever's wearing the helmet, yes.
Right.
That needs destroying.
If he's built one, which presumably he has. But I'm also curious if there's a way to reverse engineer it so that we can take people out of the bodies they're in, put them into more appropriate ones that. Like taking Yasser out of her hook cart and putting her back in her body.
You should probably share that theory with her. She could do with some hope.
I will do shortly.
If you could get the helmet, you could potentially work out how to do that.
Ooh.
Okay, we shall switch now to Sevatar in the crow's nest.
Hello.
This is your usual place, I imagine. It's where your keen eyes can see to the horizon, even in the dimness of the Underdark. And on this particular afternoon, evening, morning, it's hard to tell. You're staring out into the nothingness. There is no light, no shadows, just darkness. And as you stare, something flutters past your face. Fluttering sound.
Ting? I'm on watch. Is that you?
And then something else flutters past, and you see this golden tendril of light follow it off into the darkness.
Okay, that's not me. Okay. I'll shout down. Eyes up. There's something, I don't know if anybody's seen these before. Hemeth?
As you look down and shout, there's no deck below you. The mass seems to just disappear eternally below you, just endless. You cannot see the water, you cannot see your friends.
Balls. I'll climb up, start climbing down, shimmying down.
Did any of us, if we were on deck, hear him shout?
No. You shimmy down and down and down. How long do you shimmy?
As long as I would expect it to take to get to the deck. And when there's no deck, I would shimmy back up again.
Yeah, there's no deck. It seems to keep going, but yeah, you shimmy back up, and you get this sort of cold rain starts to fall and hit your face, and as you get back to the crow's nest, there is a figure stood off in the distance, obviously in the air. Ragged outline, hard to make out. You can see these whites of eyes, no pupils, just white, and the flicker of gold, and again you can see these tendrils, golden tendrils, sort of dissipating into the air. And then there is another flutter, and you see it this time, a black bird with golden eyes flutters past you.
I'll just sigh. I wait.
She comes closer and grows and grows and grows, and she's huge, 40, 50 foot tall. Her body disappears down below you, but you see her face clearly. Sorry. She's gaunt, her eyes are white. In her hands, she strokes a raven that is huge, even compared to you. Ginormous. And she leans in. What have you collected for me, Sevatar? You do not forget your role, I hope.
I don't make eye contact. I look at the decking of the crow's nest, and I'll drop to one knee. I have not forgotten. And I continue with my duties as instructed.
I have ushered your comrade to her ancestors.
As it pleases you.
Your other comrade, she's being lied to. She honors the cycle of life and death, but that which she follows does not.
Is that our business?
It is her choice. You collect things for me, and I usher the souls of the dead, ensure they get where they need to be. The one that she follows, those souls will never get where they need to be. It is an affront to the natural order.
What would you have of me?
I would have you help her. Help her to see. For when all the worlds are ended, I shall be the only one that remembers all souls that have passed through. The one that she follows is all that remains, then all will be forgotten. All will be for nothing.
As always, my queen, I'll do what I can.
I heard you talking of bringing one back.
I advised against it.
I know you did. You should advise them that some things can be lost upon the journey back, but I will not stop them if they wish to do it. Lives are short, the end result is the same. I shall shepherd the souls nonetheless.
Wrongly, and I prioritized bigger events.
When you were in the fungal grove, something magical tore a hole in the Feywild. Would you know what that was?
Not all is clear to me yet.
Shadow Realm is a reflection. If any of the other realms, the material, or the Feywild are damaged, then the reflection changes. Do your job, Sevatar, or we will have no home, and all souls who perish will be lost. Do you understand?
I do. I continue gazing at the glistening deck of the crow's nest. The moisture.
She reaches out. The hand is huge, although something in your mind tells you that this is not real. She touches your chest where your heart is, and as she draws away, you just see a golden tendril of light joined to her finger. We are forever joined. And then you find yourself staring out to sea. And in the distance you can see a single light far off, close to the horizon. And you're alone.
I go to stand up from my kneeling position and don't quite make it, and just flop back on my butt with my back against the crow's nest wall behind me, and I'll just stay there for the next sort of 5-10 minutes, collecting my thoughts and my self.
Malice. Where's Malice at this time? What's Malice doing?
I think since they've left, Malice has withdrawn somewhat, so she will be downstairs in the morgue, either tending to Aldous' body or continuing to add notes to the files that are becoming more and more detailed, and just muttering to herself.
Yeah, in the peace and the quiet of the ship, you hear the creaking of the wood and the sound of waves crashing against the side. You can hear goblins shouting upstairs at one another. No, you tie the bloody knot and such. It's a little bit jarring. Interrupts the peace for a moment. And Derendil comes in and sees you there. Is it a good time?
I suppose so. What is it that you need, Darendil?
Well, I appreciate you're a solitary soul, and there's nothing wrong with that. You seem a little more distant ever since Neverlight. Is everything okay?
Yes, no, I'm fine. I spend plenty of time with people. I flourish in social circumstances. Just making sure that the dead are cared for.
I think that's admirable, but maybe you should take care of yourself as well. I mean, they are dead. No one can hurt them now.
It isn't quite so true, Darendil.
Really? How do you mean?
Well, I'm used to death. Death is the end, and people move on, and with Yasfer and Tink and now Eldith, they're not. And if they are to return to their bodies, then their bodies must be protected. Because if they're to return and they're not, what they left out. That must be such a scary instance, such a unusual circumstance in what is already a troubling and traumatic incident. And we've had all kinds of things running around this ship. Kinds
Yeah.
of horrible things have been witnessed in just the last few weeks.
It has been a difficult time. I think, I mean, I'm not a religious elf, if I can still say that, but I think Eldith was a good person. Didn't know her very long, but she seemed quite brave and kind and thoughtful. I like to think I think we've seen, if there's demons, then there must be gods. Gods must exist, and you're a cleric. Eldith was a good person, so I think if there are gods, then surely her afterlife would be a good one. I'd like to believe that. What's the point in doing right if there's nothing after? Is there nothing after? She has gone somewhere good, hasn't she?
Arundel, I'm not completely sure. I've
To a
spent most
priest.
of my life following a god that focuses on torture and pain. Living a good life unto them is not a good life to others, and
I'm sorry you went through that.
thank you, Arundel.
Well, I think she's somewhere good, because she was a good person. I liked her. For a dwarf, especially. I mean, dwarves, elves, not got the best relationships in the realms, but I wanted to go and see Gauntlegrim with her. I really did. And we promised we would take her shield to her daughter, and I will. And I will take any gold I can find as well. Make sure she has a good life, just in case, the plan doesn't work. I know you've got a plan, and we're going to try and bring her back. So I guess the thing that was troubling me is if she is in a good place and we bring her back, will she be angry? Likewise, if it's a bad place, she'd be very glad. How do we tell?
I don't know. I just felt that it wasn't her time when she passed. She was in circumstances that were not a making of her own. And
Those things should not have been here.
no.
Someone's let them out, and I would love to know who, so we can give them a good kicking.
Yes. So I've never experienced death where it is not someone's time. To tell you the truth, Angela, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing at the moment.
I'm sure your God will give you guidance if you wish it.
Never much trusted the drow.
Can I ask you a
They're
question?
They are created by their own gods.
I'm no cleric. Never have been. But we had clerics at home. If I ever had had another brother, a third child in my family, then they would have been a cleric. But that didn't happen, so it wasn't to be. But I've seen the magics you can work. Surely you can bring her back. You seem reluctant. I know everyone thinks I'm a big stupid ape of a creature, but I've seen clerics with less power than you bring someone back. Is something wrong?
Don't have the ability that I need to do that. Had I been able to get to her sooner, before her soul left, then maybe, but it took a while, and I can maintain her body. I can stop the rot from setting in, But once someone is past a certain point, I am not yet at the level where I can do that, and that's why I wanted to return her to Don't Speak of Her Gram so soon. But I must admit, I am starting to question my own decisions in this.
I don't think there's any right answer in this situation. It's a terrible one. Sorry for questioning. I'm not a religious person. I don't understand how it works. I'm just concerned for her. But she was a good person. You have to have a little faith that good deeds attract good rewards in the afterlife, don't you?
Yeah. Because I think even the religious ones don't really know. It's all about faith. And even if you don't have a religion, if you believe that good deeds will see good come to you, then I think that's a perfectly fine way to live. And it suits you, Darendil. And hopefully the life that Aldith lived will give her a future, dead or alive, that is what we hope for her.
I'm sorry, I've interrupted your quiet time. You probably wanted to be alone, and I've interrupted, but just to let you know, if you ever do wish to be alone but you'd like some company while you do it, you only have to ask.
Thank you.
Would you like me to go, or would you like me to just be quiet?
Well, it is quite cramped in here with you.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Thank you. And he will turn and climb the ladder.
As he exits, he'll start writing again, and once he's closed the hatch, he'll hear the muttering start up again.
Serdi, last but not least, where is Serdi? What's Serdi up to?
Serdi's on the deck, looking over the side of the rail. He sort of stood there, wide-eyed, the wide-eyed realization that he's been given a task to do, and it's a lot bigger than he thought it was. Having just seen what they've seen in Neverlight Grove, he's not sure he can do it, whether he's up to it or not. And sort of holding in one hand his pendant in the shape of an oak leaf, and the other hand's on Ambrose's back. And a sort of passing thought that it wasn't that long ago Ambrose seemed to be waist height, and now he's a lot taller, growing, and said he doesn't know where the time's gone. He's sniffing the air, trying to keep all his senses aware, too, worried that more of those creatures will come attacking the ship now they're in it again.
As you sniff the air, the rotten smell.
Sniffs deeper, tries to take in as much as he can.
It's on the wind. It's acidic, rotten, pungent. And it's carried on the wind. It's weak, but you can smell it. No one else would probably notice.
Be aware, everyone. I think there's something on the wind. Something's out there. Just keep your eyes open. And drops into his weapon.
Having heard that, which way's the wind coming from?
Behind. No, I say that out loud. It's like it's a sailing ship. It's not always come from behind. That's true. Sometimes it comes. You tack and yeah.
So a hand goes to the compass, and sort of fear, I guess. I think of Zukmoy and see if we've used the once per week ability to see if they're what direction they are in, if they're within 30 miles of us.
Of what, Zugtmoy?
Yeah, does it seem to be the direction that the smell's coming from?
Well, it is back towards Neverlight, yes.
I think my mind's playing havoc now, and slight panic, trying not to show it.
Sevatar, could you roll me a perception check, please? Your passive is ridiculously high, so it'll be fine, I'm sure. But
Try. Let's figure out how to do this again. Perception. Rolled a 13 for a 22.
you, at the end of your experience, you saw a golden light off in the distance, and at first you thought perhaps it was part of that. You watched for a while longer and saw the light go out. So you stare hard. You are scanning the horizon looking for anything. You see a ship. A ship with multiple sails. It is dark. No lights. And it is probably a few hours behind you. But it is catching slowly.
Ship ahoy! Detail the direction.
The smell, that's where it's coming from.
Mammoth, have we got any more speed in this? Because they are gaining slowly, but if we continue like this, they will catch us.
I mean, the wind is very advantageous today. It is directly going in the direction we wish, but go faster. We could lose some weight. We could get rid of the lifeboats. Drop anything we don't need. Otherwise, unless you have magical abilities or ways to do it, I don't know. Who is following us? I don't see anything.
Do we recognise any colours? I know you said that it's unlit, so I guess it would be difficult, but any sort of insignias or sail colourings or ship design?
It's hard to make out because it's
Yeah.
dark vision. We can't see any colours, but it does seem to have a flag flying. Tell you what, give me a I don't know if you would know. You might know. Give me a history check, or what? Unless you
I'm
can
waiting
give
for
me
the
any.
old.
Yeah, whether you have any reason that you might recognise the shape of a ship. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. It is. It's not quite good enough to tell who it is, but you can see this ship. It is small. It has multiple sails. With the original roll of 22, you can see that it has 2 sails. It is a lot bigger than your ship. It is a galleon. And it's just too far to make out any insignia. There is a flag flying, but you're not sure.
Okay.
I mean, you could describe it to someone and they might know, but it's very hard at this range. Until it gets a bit closer, you can't tell. But at the moment, it's not like gaining rapidly. It's not like growing. But it is clearly directly heading for you. And you saw the lights go out.
Yeah, we are definitely the target.
Whatever it is, it smells rotten, acidic. Nothing good smells like that.
I mean, we're going as fast as we can.
What is the water like here? Is there any rocks nearby that we could potentially trick them into?
If it's a big ship, we could go closer to the shore and hope that they're whole grounds, but it's risky for us. But I mean, it's possible. The way, if we're going directly to Blingdenstone, it's relatively clear and open. If we headed a bit out into the dark lake, there are a number of islands off the coast. We could try and duck through, or we go close to the shore and try and beat them with our smaller hull. If it has 2 sails and is bigger, it will probably be faster than us. Do you think it's drow?
It's going to catch us, whatever.
Actually, we could. I'm open to orders, Captain. We could head to the islands and try and hide, or we can go into shallower waters and hope that we do not run aground.
Or you say we can potentially outrun if we lose weight, or can somehow increase the speed of the ship.
We could try, yes. I've
Where's
seen
all our magic users?
I've seen wizards do like wind spells and such to speed things up.
Let's ramp up all our tricksters.
I don't believe I have any wind spells.
And this,
water spells.
Sevatar, can you describe the ship to me? Is it how many sails?
Galleon type, 2 sails.
And the flag, is it square? Is it pointy?
There's a flag, I can't quite make it out unless I can now.
Yeah, you can see the shape of a flag, which is almost like a lizard tongue. It's you know, got the little cut into it.
Got you.
Long and thin. It does sound like a drow ship, yes.
If I can be walking up at this point and catch the end of that conversation, how far away is it from us?
I can't even see it. Sevatar shows me it's there. I don't know, but if he can't see it, I would say it's at least 2 hours before it could catch us, if not longer.
If it gets close enough, I might be able to do something. And you think we might be able to outrun it?
I'll be honest,
as we stand right now, no.
Not unless you have some tricks up your sleeve.
I mean, I may be able to speed us up, but not for any real length of time. But if it comes to it, I might be able to capsize them, but I make no promises.
Head for the islands.
Veronica,
we have more maneuver.
I'm gonna say yes.
We have more maneuverability than that ship does. We can lose them, potentially dock somewhere and get the jump on them. Better than risk running aground ourselves.
Even with the advantage of surprise, with the amount of people that could potentially be on a galleon-sized ship, that's a tough fight. Hiding, outmaneuvering, maybe. Maybe we can sneak around an island and come back behind or something. I mean, I'm no sailor. I don't know, but I think a fight is. I follow orders, of course, but I think it's a tall order to try and fight.
We'll see how things look once they get closer, but for now, I think the islands sound like the best idea.
If they get within 300 feet, I can maybe hit them with a tidal wave that might capsize them. Or a whirlpool if any of them enter the water. I have a few options, but
is our light on? Drift globe?
I believe it is not. Oh, no. It is on for the sake of the map, but I believe you turned it off last session.
Okay.
So no, I don't believe it is on.
Just if this ship is bigger than ours, does that mean it? I mean, does it mean it's bigger under the water as well as on top of it? How does that work, Hanneth?
Yes, it probably will be. Yes.
So it couldn't go as shallow as we could.
No, I would say not.
So could we run it to ground? I mean, is there a place that we could go that we can pass and it couldn't?
I'm going to be honest, I don't go to the shore around here very often because we don't want to run aground, so I don't know. But yes, it's a good strategy potentially.
It's probably got cannons on board.
If it is a drow ship, it will have 2 black powder cannons, yes.
And even if it can't get to us, its cannons might.
I also can cast Fireball, though, which could make a lovely light show on the lake.
Still don't see it. You sure you're not dreaming? Nothing there.
Go,
Davey says, "Let's go, fireball!"
and go up to the crow's nest. It helps with some height. Take a glass if you have one.
I think there might be a glass somewhere. Probably should have been using it all along. Hang on. He goes up to the rudder and starts going through boxes. Oh yeah,
Damn
yeah,
it.
look. Here's here you go. And he hands you an eyeglass. I thought you
I'll
already
shimmy
had
back
it.
up as quick as I can. Can I see the flag? Can I see the flag?
Yeah, well, give me another perception roll with advantage.
Perception, come on. Oh, it is better.
Okay. With the eyeglass, they are still very distant, and you know with your eyesight that no one else would probably even notice that it was there, but you're a different species. Your eyes are impeccable. You come from a place that is incredibly dark, and you can see the ship. You see the flag. It has a spider on it. And at the front of the ship, you see 3 figures. The middle one is short. 3.5, 4 foot tall. You just make out white hair and a single glowing red eye. On either side, 2 figures. Again, you can't see their faces, but they seem to like shift and writhe and almost change shape for a split second and then revert back. And behind them you can see the shapes of drow, but these drow aren't moving around. They are like shuffling. Their movements are jerky. Their heads are like
Explain the more detailed scenario to everyone.
There was a brief amount of light on the ship for a second, and you see the face, and although it is gaunt and distorted, You recognise him. You already killed him.
He really is invincible.
It's Pepido. You. Go on, sorry.
I need Steve to tell us down there.
He's just gone quiet. He's like, oh.
Fucking Pepido.
Now, do you want to kill it?
Who?
Matt's just doing what we always ask him to do, which is to keep our beloved NPCs alive.
Freaking kill it.
Who is this Pepido?
He's a creature
not
more
good
evil
news.
than any creature from the abyss.
He's an
Malice can
arsehole.
be quite intense, I think it's fair to say. And she turns to Serdi when he says this, and just the look of unadulterated rage on her face. Like, there is just a sense that she could kill anyone at any moment right now. He needs to die. He needs to be put in the ground and not be able to get out of it. He thinks he is a god, and he kills indiscriminately. He kills innocent
Mushrooms.
Myconids, for God's sake.
Yeah, Serdi, we put this guy in the ground once before. The fact that he's out of the ground, sailing his ship towards us, means it can't mean anything good, put it that way.
Is he a god?
No. He is lesser than anyone and anything I have ever met. But if you are right and it smells of rot and decay, then it seems that the rot has set into him.
And the rest of the crew, from what I saw,
It's nothing more than a mangy little puppet.
Should our strategy be different then? Should we be turning sail and attacking?
Use the environment to our advantage. I still say head for the rocks. It'll be harder for them to maneuver, and then they are well, Pedo is a melee based fighter. They'll need to get close. If we can outmaneuver them, we can use our magic from a distance. We could potentially lose them.
he was a melee-based threat. Who knows what it's become?
Got to go off the information that we have.
The information that we have is that he has beaten death.
It just means we have to ensure there isn't enough left of him to come back. Cremate him or something. Or quarter him.
Coming back like that's wholly unnatural. We ought to put pay to it. So, whatever you advise, Captain, I'm with you.
Look at the rest of the crew. Any other strong feelings for another path?
I just want us to not be drawn based on emotion. Before we knew who he was, before we knew the identity, we were prepared to hide and outmaneuver and maybe even avoid altogether. And now, because we know an identity, we're potentially changing tactic, but the threat is no less. In fact, it may even be more. And it's okay. I'm just saying, try not to let our emotions affect our tactics or effectiveness.
Noted. The priority is to preserve the ship and the crew, but if we see an opportunity, I believe we should take it because he will continue to follow.
It'd be interesting to know how he's found us.
It's a good question. We're not giving off any light, particularly, are we? So how is he holding true?
Docky is the only link.
That was the succubus. Wasn't Drocky.
Are you suggesting we have something on board that's giving away our position?
That's my only thought, yes.
Be as small as spores.
I'm not sure I understand. Balls.
We're coming from a place of fungus. Not all visible. It gets into the wood, it gets into the flesh.
They're making me feel icky.
It's impressive what it can do. But I wonder whether they've been able to track us in such a way, or whether maybe we spent too much time with them and they can track us in some other way. They've also had plenty of time to follow us.
I mean, I've heard of wizards that can follow people or things. You sure he isn't one of those? You said he liked to fight up close, Captain, but could he have hidden talents?
Clearly, he returned to life.
He has a very powerful patron. Regardless, if we plan to eliminate him here now, then the tracking almost doesn't matter. If we plan to evade and hide, then the tracking is important. We need to find out what that is.
So I've just popped up on the screen what the ship rules are. So for you, Captain, and everyone, hopefully you can see those. Gives you an idea about some of the actions that you can choose to do. So for example, full speed will give you a speed boost, potentially. Driving the ship harder. There are some other rules there as well for like casualties and ramming and things like that, so you might want to have a quick look at that.
What's the distance on our cannon? Do we have cannon?
You don't have cannons at the moment, no.
Okay. So the take aim.
And we use the take aim to assist a magic user.
No, I don't believe so.
Shit.
If you had a ballista or something like that, then yes. But spellcasters, no, I'd say not. Sorry.
Oh, would Malice know this, or is Hazel just getting it far too much into where she used to teach the Spanish Armada? Oh God. No, I was a freaking priestess. I know nothing about naval warfare. Ignore me.
Maybe you had a hobby of reading about naval battles. I don't know. If it's cool, you know it.
I'm just looking at that crash damage at the bottom.
Mhm.
Can you give us an idea of our ship size and the galleon ship size?
Yes. So your ship should be under vehicles, I think. So the Yasva not got its hit points. Has got your ship's got 212 hit points. Its maximum would be 300, but it's quite old and run down. You have built it up and repaired it significantly. Battle barge, if it's undamaged and brand new, is probably got a similar level of damage that it can take. It will just be faster. Probably in good conditions, probably close to twice as fast. But the slow speed at which it's gaining, which you would see, Sev, clear that whoever's sailing it either doesn't quite know what they're doing or is not doing a very good job. So you reckon you've got a few hours before they catch to plan what you want to do.
Is this the scene? Because I was really hoping for some places to hide.
No, this is just the
Narrower.
indication. Yeah.
Galleon, it will want to pull up alongside us.
Yeah, well.
We can fight it head on. If it pulls up alongside us, if we can force it to have to turn at an angle that's it's too cumbersome to really manage, I can flood it. I can maybe capsize it, and Drodin can use fireball, set it on fire. For mine, we can be 300 feet away. It's a good distance. If we can at least get some of them in the water, I can catch them in a whirlpool. Not much use other than that for any distance, but I can continue to focus those attacks on them for about 10 minutes.
I mean, if there are any bows on board, we could control a small fire and fire some fire arrows to assist Drodin's fireball, distract them.
I can also throw a fireball. I was also hoping we could get it between islands, so that if I were to enlarge the ship, it would break.
Or you could
Fire
shrink
arrows.
it, and that would be hilarious.
I don't think the people would shrink.
Oh, you mean our ship? I thought you were going to enlarge their ship.
No, I was going to enlarge their ship, so it's too big to...
I see. Oh, you are quite clever. That's
But
quite
then
clever.
shrinking it might cause problems for them anyway. You might get some people who get slightly crushed below decks because they don't have enough space. The ship
only
might
lasts for a
accumulate.
minute.
No.
But once the damage is done,
But it still might be small enough that the weight of everybody on it might capsize it.
Roll
Or
me
at
an
least throw it off
Arcana
balance.
check. Anyone who's a spellcaster, or no, in fact, anyone can roll an Arcana check. All of you. Oof, that's a good one. Who was that? And another one. Okay. I think pretty much everyone. We'll go with Serdi and Malice, but Drodin, you also figure out that you don't exactly know how it would work on something so large. You've heard about enlarge, reduce, but you're not sure whether it would just enlarge, like if you cast it, whether it would enlarge part of the ship or just a single beam, or or whether it would do the whole thing. Because it is made up of lots of pieces, it's a little bit unpredictable as to there would be a lot of skill involved in getting it to enlarge the whole ship or shrink the whole ship. Doesn't mean it wouldn't work. It's just you're not quite. It might be a bit unpredictable on something that big as to what would happen.
It would
problem
work.
The problem I've got with fighting the ship, and I love the idea of the fire arrows and fireballs, etc. I suspect they have access to all the same stuff and a bit more. And while we're waiting for their ship to burn, ours will have already burned.
So control water, I've got 10 minutes where I can do various things. So I can use flood to kind of tidal wave and try and capsize them. It's got a 25% chance of doing that. I can then change what it does each round. So if we get set on fire, I could use control water to put the fire out.
Is that concentration?
Yes, this is the thing. Like if I'm doing this, I can do something every round with control water, but I won't really be able to
I mean,
do
that's powerful.
Let
We
me
need
pop
that.
it in the chat.
We definitely need that.
It's my only
I-
full slot though, so
Out of character, just zombie torpedo with flickering sidekicks. They've got magic.
yeah.
I think, Captain, I think there might be something in your idea, though. I mean, what if you weren't to enlarge the whole ship, but just a bit of it? What if, Hammer, how much force? I mean, these are only wood. How much force would it take to break one of these masts? I mean, if the sail were to just double in size suddenly with the wind behind it like this, would it be enough to pull up one of the masts?
It might do. It would be very unstable if the mast was too big. It might unbalance the ship and cause problems. Yes.
So if we were to,
Could even break it. I don't know for sure, but maybe.
if we were to follow your plan, Captain, and go around the edge of one of these islands, if we can get near it quick enough, and turn around, if that ship were to turn and follow us, and suddenly the sail enlarged to the point where it pulled it off course and perhaps even pulled up the mast.
Brilliant idea.
But they have control of their sails, so they'll just let go of the ropes and the wind won't hold them anymore.
But then they've
We
lost the
can.
sail and lost the speed advantage.
And we can always distract them with the addition of a fireball at the same time. How big are these islands? Enough to stand on?
Yes. Why? You want to disembark?
I say the fighters amongst us disembark and let you go ahead. We wait in ambush. Then there's less risk to the ship.
What if he wants the ship? I mean, if you're a maniac that Torpedo is, and you know that we've... Or are you suggesting he wouldn't know that we've disembarked?
Yes.
He would know.
We have an advantage on them. We're ahead. If we can get to the islands, disembark, and let Hemith keep going. Wait for them to pass by. Attack where we want to attack. Hemith will be able to see when something has gone off and start making his way back.
It might also present us a rather nice opportunity to, at least if we're wanting to engage them on our terms and a bit more of a designed encounter, it might... I think it's quite a zealous concept, but it might provide us an opportunity to potentially upgrade our ship if we were a bit more focused about it.
Oh. But I wanted to smash things.
I'm not sure it would be nice to be on a ship that smelled as bad as that one.
I do worry about the standing of the drow. The drow galleon is a troublesome sight for most.
Our ship is pretty neutral, and we would have to hire more crew.
Perhaps it's in my nature, and I do apologise for this, but I have a tendency to think of worst case scenarios. So I'm just going to say it, make of it what you will. We get off the ship, Hemeth carries on. Torpedo comes alongside, we say, aha, and attempt to attack. Torpedo carries on, sailing with his fast ship out of our range. Catches up with Hemeth, destroys our ship, we're stranded on an island.
Yes, that is a possible scenario.
I can make everyone walk on water. Well, the ones who want to fight. But it will only be good for an hour.
You did that when we fought the things, the flying things. That was very effective. Very impressive.
It won't particularly stop him from being able to get past, but
If we can get to Blingdenstone, we've got the help, presumably, of the residents of Blingdenstone as well. All we need to do is slow him down enough, just to give us the edge, enough time to get there.
How far is Blingdenstone?
Probably about. You're making good time. Emeth will be. I think we could be there in a day and a half.
Oh,
We're not going to get there before. We'll have to do something about it at least. Get it off our trail, damage the ship somehow. I mean, I think we have several plans that could work in conjunction to slow it or damage it enough. Just have to hope that we can thwart anything they do in return. Should assume they have the same.
Is he really this powerful that we should be so worried? Why is everyone so worried? I know you said you killed him already, but maybe you just didn't do it properly. No offense.
We're not worried, we're angry.
I see. Okay. I understand.
Just have some faith, Sevatar.
I'm here. I'm available. I'm ready to fight. If that's what we decide to do. I just want everyone to have all the options, be aware of all the scenarios.
All right, shall we? No, carry on.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, yeah, same as you. Let's go.
Let's
go. Let's start making preparations.
Let's make a pizza.
Not now. Sadie.
Time to install a pizza oven.
Oh, I can see it now. Yes, there. Yes. Wow, you got good eyes to see that. I can barely see it now. What are you going to do? What's the plan?
In my head, we're heading for the islands. We're looking for a narrow passage that will be big enough for it to traverse, but only just.
Mm-hmm. Okay, someone needs to give me a nature. Yeah.
That's not me.
Us two. Don't think that'll do it.
What's Hemeth's?
Thank you, Sirdy.
I'll also let people roll survival if they want. Naturally, because survival is appropriate, I think.
Would have been better, but I'll do that.
Oh,
Did a better roll for me.
Wow.
Not even gonna try.
That's my
Not even
survival.
gonna try.
Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah, I think it's fine. You turn the ship, and obviously you are turned out of the direction of the wind slightly, so you do have to you proceed a little bit slower, but you know that they will also be a little bit slower, so it will even out, and you start heading towards these crags that you see in the distance. And yeah, between Serdi, Sev, Hemeth, and you start plotting. You see a number of islands. So what exactly are you looking for? Like a island that you can actually physically get onto?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see up ahead of you, you see it's kind of almost like volcanic islands. They're not covered, they don't seem to have any life in them. They almost look like dragon's teeth coming out of the ground. But there are a few that are shattered and low that you could get onto. And you see one which is quite large and flat with a second to the side of it, which is like a big pillar of volcanic stone. Just it's almost as if it's erupted and then hardened opposite it, and you could sail your ship through it. They may struggle.
Could we leave our ship? Could we disembark and then leave our ship at the other end of the passage, as it were, so we're just waiting, or look like we're waiting?
That's what you want to do, Captain, then yes.
And then when it all goes off, just get out of here to look after the ship. But come back for us.
Right, so you're going to... What? So you're hoping they'll get stuck and then you're going to board?
Or just attack from the side. Depends how it goes. If we throw a fireball and it's unboardable, then they'll
Well,
have to come to us.
I don't have to make fireball a fireball. It could be a thunderball. Or a acid ball. An acid ball would probably do as much damage. Oh, well, it's wood.
They all sound quite destructive.
I could throw a psychic ball. That will only be destructive to them.
Don't get in the way of the cannons if they fire them.
No.
It goes without saying, I know, but they're
But
designed to
until it
break
all
ships.
goes off your bait.
They will properly break you, I promise. Don't get in front of them.
Hemeth,
Yes.
on a galleon that has cannons, where would you store the black powder?
Well, there should be a small supply near the cannons for reloading, and then the rest would probably be stored in the hold below the waterline.
So, as much as I would like to aim for... Ooh, in fact, maybe I could utilise Irving. Although I would feel bad about turning him into a suicide bomber. I'll come up with a plan.
You have a familiar.
I do! Irving,
You
I'm
can
off.
cast through your familiar.
You can cast something through your familiar. I can't remember if it has to be a touch spell. Oh! I have that... I can summon an icon of my spellbook somewhere. So if I can...
Can't we just set their sails on fire from a good distance and keep... not even... and just push on to Blingdenstone?
Why don't you want to burn the little ship to a crisp?
I do. I just want to make sure I win.
Nefest Mind, that's what it was called.
Galleon full of undead drow.
an undead psycho wannabe god. You've not had a
Malice.
fight in a while.
As you're speaking with everyone and listening, you hear a whispered voice in your mind.
Invincible.
His champion approaches with many undead. Wish it and I will have undead join your side. You carry many vessels. Speak and make it so.
Who heard that?
Just Malice.
Everyone will just hear Malice just say to herself, they're not just dead, they're not puppets, they're not for that. Shakes it off and tries to refocus on the conversation.
He's a champion of Orcus we must destroy.
And we will.
Is it just me that has an image of Malice always talking to herself? So this is normal.
She has been muttering to herself more and more.
It wouldn't surprise me either. No,
Sometimes
that
it sounds like
feels
she's
normal.
practicing conversations as to like how to ask someone what they're thinking about the weather. Sometimes it's how to tell someone that someone's died.
I'm
Sometimes
imagining that
it's
Malice is having both parts of that conversation out loud.
Yeah, well, after you.
yeah. Well, she's trying to figure out what she's replying to. Yeah, it's happening more and more. The more time she spends in the morgue, the stranger she's getting. But yeah, so there'll be the general kind of, they're not puppets, they're not for that. I know he has to die, of course he has to.
Malice!
Yeah,
Give them
sorry.
power.
Yes,
Are you
Captain.
okay?
You power.
I am fine. I'm just grappling with the situation that we are currently facing. It's a boat full of dead. They will not be thinking as rationally and as calmly as we might be.
So we'll have the upper hand.
Or they will be reckless in a way that we cannot account for. If we're going to fight them, we need to aim for utter destruction. There cannot be any chance of their survival.
Well, if that's what you advise, that's what we must do. Can we hide on these islands? Can we be out of sight?
They are just rock. So you can try. You can certainly try. How effective that might be is hard to say. And just literally creating a map for it as we speak.
How high can we get on these rocks versus the galleon? I mean, are we going to be below their sort of upper deck or above their upper deck?
The lower
deck.
part, the lower the part is below the deck. So the deck is probably 10, 15 feet above the water level. But there are parts of the island as it goes to the centre again, it's like a volcanic rock, so it is bigger in the centre. I'll put a map up in a second. I'm literally just generating it.
Just to be on the safe side as well, for my sake. I don't suppose we have any spare armour or anything lying around, do we? Or maybe a shield, something that can help me protect myself a little more.
I think it's tough kits for you, Droden.
It would appear to be, yes.
Nothing spare, Drode, I'm afraid. Only the one I'm using. Did you... I mean... Never seen you use one before.
No, but from reading Victor's notes, I think there's a principle behind some of the stuff that I can kind of understand. I might be able to make some degree of use of them now.
Did nearly dying 4 or 5 times in Neverlight Grove make you a bit nervous?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, I can see how it would do that. There's a broken stool downstairs. You can use that. Not quite the same, I know.
No, I'm looking for more of a shield than a buckler, I would say.
There's Eldiff shield, but if it goes in the water, you're going in after it.
I'm very specifically going to deny using Elder's shield. As we know, I do have a bit of a problem with wandering off. So.
Just stand behind me and Ambrose, Droden. We shall be your shield.
I have some hide armor.
Better than nothing.
Yeah, I've either got leather or I've got hide, but hide's going to be the better one of those two. I don't know how to send it to someone, though.
How does that affect your spellcasting, Brody?
I'm proficient with light and medium armor now, so
Oh, excellent.
He's a multi-class boy. It's nice. Nice.
I like.
Yes.
very nice.
Someone give
Another multi-class.
Yeah.
someone give my hide armor to Brodin, please.
Okay.
I've got my studded.
Hide armor. It's medium. You wear medium.
And we're medium.
Very nice. Very nice. It's quite a fitting character arc for Droden. He did get absolutely battered to crap in Neverlight Grove. I mean, that is obviously the poetic way of putting it. So it makes sense that he suddenly be like, I'm going to wear armor and find ways to. I'm going to get.
I've been reading Victor's journal, and I think there's a good premise for him coating everyone in brass and metal. Who would
He
have
comes
thought?
out from below deck covered in bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Mage armor only gets you so far.
Okay. There you go. Hide armor.
You darling.
Um,
It's as if I cast mage armor.
Particularly drowish as well. Looks kind of medical in its cut.
Fitting for some of the work I may have to be doing soon. Unfortunately.
okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to put a map together on the fly. It's probably not the best plan, but
So, are we all getting
do
off our ship? Is that what we're saying? Forming like a bit of an ambush on these rocky
it's
island things?
U5, just to be clear.
Yes.
No one else.
No. Fine, Derendil can come.
Darendil as well.
That will make the difference. This is a warship.
Before we leave the ship, just in the time that we're taking to like get there, Malice will settle down on she'll sit cross-legged on the deck and spend 10 minutes ritual casting water walk, just in case.
That'll make a lot of difference for me, potentially.
Yeah, we don't want people like drowning in the middle of a fight, just in case.
Can I not move that human shield? Okay.
Just out of curiosity, with Water Walk, do you have to drop it if we didn't want to, or could we drop it? I think you would have to drop it, wouldn't you, since it's your spell.
Spell press target does. Just say 1 second.
It's a good question. I actually never thought about that before, but it is a good question.
I think it's got to be the spellcaster, because in
Yeah.
theory you could cast it on an enemy to stop them chasing you underwater, couldn't you?
I think there has been something about you can go underwater with water walk. It's not like let me do some
you
Googling.
like. I think you pop up very quickly if you cast water walk while underwater. You literally like go up to the top, very very quick.
It's one guaranteed way of getting the bends.
It
So-
grants the ability to move across a liquid surface. It doesn't say that they have to.
Probably get into too much detail. Probably won't come up.
Well, it's. Sorry, I shouldn't try and make maps on the fly, but I'm nearly there. Nearly there.
Well, we did suddenly spring this on you.
That's okay. I knew you would think of something that I haven't thought of. It's the rule of D&D. It has to happen. You see the ship approaching. So the ship is kind of off. Your ship is off as bait almost. It's kind of a little way through these islands, with the intent of sort of drawing them through. Some random sails in the middle of the screen that I don't have to get rid of now.
How many days has it been since Neverlight?
It's a day. It's been a day. At this point, day
Okie
and a half.
dokie.
Why?
Then Malice is still my lucky charm, and when we get within 10 minutes of it approaching, I would like to cast Protection from Good.
Okay. That's fair enough. Okay, I'm going to load up the map in a second, but it's more of a just to give you an indication as things start to go off. As Hemeth pulls through the gap, you definitely get this. You can see that it is quite rocky and it is quite shallow, and Hemeth takes the ship very slowly through. So slowly that you all manage to sort of just drop off onto the rock. Ignore the fact that the ship is there. That's just and ignore the fact that the sails are just floating in the middle of nowhere. For some reason, I can't get rid of them. Don't know what to do. Anyone got any idea? Is it over?
Is it tiles?
Yeah. Is it the overhead bits?
Oh yeah, it might be on the top layer.
The top layer. What am I doing wrong? How do I get onto a layer? Because I can see them. They're there, but I can't get rid of them. It's just the normal tile controls, right?
I can't remember without being on mine. I mean, it's fine. I can ignore them.
You can
easily
ignore
enough.
them. Oh well, sorry, stream. Sorry, Davey. Those they should disappear if you move under them anyway. So hopefully they won't be too annoying.
Now the ship's moved, so we.
What's that? Sorry.
The ship moved as well, so it was alright. He moved it kind of back again, so it was just they were all floating in the water, and the ship was on the rocks. It was so down there.
Yeah, so many different controls, but yes. You see the ship approaching as you all. What are you doing? Are you doing anything to prepare while you're on the rocks? Is there anything you want to do?
I
Go ahead.
I cast a spell, but I don't know. It's not come up in Foundry, but it went from my sheet, so I don't know. Can you see it?
I can't. I can. No, I can't.
Okay, well, I don't know what's going on with Foundry. I've twin cast Protection from Good and Evil on myself and Malice.
Okay. And what does that do? What does that give you?
We are protected against certain types of creatures, including undead. They will have disadvantage on attack rolls against us.
Okay. Noted. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Okay.
Going
Yeah,
to
yeah.
take out my Claw and my shield, but I'm going to lay prone on the rocks so that there's not much of a target and watch.
Okay. You see the ship approach. It is probably going a bit quick. Hemeth slowed the ship, reduced the sails, and very, very slowly made his way through these rocks. You heard a few little scrapes and things, but nothing too extreme. But as this ship's approaching, you see now Bupido stood at the front of the ship. And he seems to have this weird pulsating green aura around him, which extends for about 10 feet, giving off this light, and you can smell it same time as you see it. Next to him, it appears to be two drow zombies, but they weirdly seem to shift and change form almost instantly. And at times, it's almost like they collapse into themselves and then reform. Very odd. And then behind you see a number of drow, but they are clearly dead and jerky in their movements, and they are sort of marching around on the deck. Some of them are holding hand crossbows. Some of them are stood staring blankly next to cannons on the side of the ship. And it keeps coming. So you cast your spell. Is anyone doing anything else?
I would like to hide.
Okay, give me a roll.
Stealth?
Yeah, I'll cast Pass Without a Trace on everyone.
Thank you.
Plus 10, is that to everyone's roll?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Did anyone get less than 20?
Am I rolling? Because I'm pressing the buttons and nothing happens.
23.
Can't see you rolling, no.
Yeah, I rolled a stealth and I saw the dice roll, but the result never came up.
Can you kick me out and I'll come back in?
Joe,
Because I think
you
this
got
Oh, there
map
you
has
go.
just broken me.
23.
Okay.
I'm refreshing for safety's sake, but I saw my result come through.
You got
Just
20, Tink. I just rolled it for you, unless you want to roll a dice. Picture.
23, 25.
I don't think anyone's got
I love
lost.
it that Serdy's the one with 13.
No, that should be 23. I just forgot to
23.
add 10. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's got over 20. You are laying low, you're hiding. Even Darren will be. Let's see what Darren gets.
Everyone, am I
19.
capsize this boat?
Let's see what damage happens when it goes over the rocks if he's not paying attention.
It's coming in now, and it's coming in quite quick. Too quick to go through these rocks anyway, you think. Maybe 3-4 minutes before it comes through. Any last things you want to do, or we'll move forward?
When it's in between the rocks, how far away roughly is it going to be from us?
As it is on the screen, not far.
It's someone who can't see the screen.
It's probably going to be. It's going to be 50, 60 feet to the nearest side of the ship. Probably 110 feet to the furthest side of the ship.
We know where the rocks are, don't we?
Yeah.
We know where it's going to be bad, so I guess I could hold the enlarge on the sail for the right area, so to just help with it.
You want to?
If you know where the rocks are, you could cast it on the rock.
Also true.
Okay, 3 minutes to go. Coming in.
Oh no, I can't
Hold.
concentrate on both.
Hold.
2 minutes.
Do you want to ret it and say that you didn't do protection? Go for you've got to do one of them.
We can just throw fireballs at them, they'll be fine.
1 minute. You can see him now. All of you can see one of his eyes is glowing red. His lips have kind of rotted away. You just see his teeth, which looks like he's grinning. It's a rictus grin. Next to him, you see now that these shape-shifting zombie things, they look like zombies one moment, and then the next moment they look like a mass of sort of swarming worms and maggots. They just seem to shift and hold their shape and then lose it, collapse in on themselves, and then reform.
Oh no. No. No, no. No. No thanks.
And behind him, you see the crew clumsily working, manning the cannons. But they are clumsy and slow and stupid and clearly not doing a very good job. The ship is 30 seconds out now.
Now that we're a lot closer.
Yeah.
Eyeballing Bupedo.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have anything about his person that's different or unusual? Any artifacts or I don't know, weapons?
Do you know what? With a passive perception of 19, the first thing you notice is this green haze around him. And as you look, you remember him using 2 swords, but he has no swords. His hands, you see the flesh on his forearms stops, and then his hands are just pure bone, and out of the what's left of his flesh, you just see this green ichor running from both of his hands. And where it hits the deck, you can see it is smoking and burning any of the nails.
Well, shit.
Again, he's like, grin. This grin is disturbing, and it's not an intentional grin, it's just that he is missing his lips, and you can see his skull. He hasn't seen you, though. 20 seconds.
Hopefully he hasn't seen the rocks either.
Are you enlarging anything, Veronica?
No, because I would rather have protection against good and evil. They're going to do damage to themselves anyway.
Okay. The ship comes thundering in, and you see him raise his hand, which drips with this sizzling acid. And he points at the ship that is through the rocks and seems to miss entirely the danger of this space. And you just hear a crack and a scrape, and then this crunching sound, and the ship runs aground and stops. You see all of the crew, the drow zombie crew, seem to fall and trip and are caught off guard. Torpedo and these strange shifting masses of worms or whatever they are seem to hold their feet just.
As we notice the ship kind of like shudder and the ground as it hits the rocks, and they kind of catch themselves, control water, and I'm going to try and flood it. So
For it.
there'll be a 20-foot wave, travels from our side of the ship, pushing as many people as I can overboard with that. Because of the situation it's in, I don't think we can capsize it. I don't think there's that much room, but if I can cause any more damage, I'll have to go for it.
Go for it. Go for it. So, 20-foot wave. Is there any damage on it?
So the damage would be if I was to use Whirlpool, but at the moment I'm just trying to, if this is enough to knock some of them overboard, damage the ship further in whatever way you think it's suitable.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Suddenly the water just washes up over the deck, and you see a handful of the zombies just get, nearly moves the whole ship. You see a handful of them, the ones that are closest to the side, get washed off, and a couple at the rear as well just seem to disappear into the water below. They don't seem to know how to swim. You just see them sink. They're still sort of clambering and clawing, trying to get to the boat, but they just disappear under the waves. And indeed, the ship is quite slippery on the deck. It will probably be difficult terrain. Anyone else doing anything?
Rodin, shall we?
I'd like to do you mind if I go first?
Oh, after you.
So I'm going to move kind of down to where Darendil is. Down to maybe here. Now, I've read the thing for it. I'm going to post it for you so you can review. But it looks to me like summoning your manifest mind doesn't have to be somewhere where you can see it.
Okay.
So it looks like I can just pick somewhere within 60 feet for it to be.
Unoccupied space within 60 feet. Yeah.
So with that in mind, I would like to go like around here somewhere, but down 10 feet. So it would be inside the ship.
Sure. Obviously, if I'm going to make you roll Arcana, because if you summon it into something that's physically there, it's going to be destroyed. So that's the risk of casting it somewhere you can't see, I would say.
Fair enough.
I'm not going to say you can't. I'm just saying, give me
A 14.
okay. Yeah, you believe you've cast it.
Well, I'll be able to see through it if I've cast it.
Indeed, you can see the inside of a very dark ship.
Do I see anything that looks like powder keg?
So how far down was the ship?
It would have just been
So
10 feet.
consider there's 3 decks. So you've got the top, you've got underneath, and then you've got one below that. You've gone for the middle one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You can see a cannon, pile of cannonballs, and a small keg of powder. Yes.
Not the ideal thing I was looking for, but
Not like huge, but yeah, still pretty. It's enough to cause a very big hole.
yes, it's still going to make them shit their pants when they realise this fireball's coming from inside the ship. And I'd like to use my manifest mind to cast fireball inside the ship at that barrel.
Okay. So what do you need to use an action for summoning your thing?
It's manifest mind's a bonus action, and then casting the fireball will be my action.
Go for it.
And for shits and gigs, let's cast fireball at 4th level
Okay.
with my only 4th level slot.
Yeah, cast it where you're going to cast it. Let me turn that picture of the drow.
Guess it would be like around here if we're going on the concept that it would be roughly in the same place potentially.
Okay.
And damage. That's a lot of 6s.
Okay.
Well, it was 2 6s.
Okay. The first thing you see is the cannon on the deck with these drow that have fallen. These drow that have fallen. The cannon just lifts into the air. The deck explodes outwards, both the side of the ship and above, and yeah, they are vaporized. The drow are just gone.
I would drop something, but unfortunately I don't have anything to drop apart from my movable rod. But after you now, Tink.
Follow that.
I'm still trying to get in, but I know I have a necklace of fireballs and would like, before I logged out and back in, I could see I could get within 60. Can you hurl a bead from the necklace? 60 feet?
Yes.
Or
Yeah. It's just like
Then-
fireball.
I would like to go for Rapido at the epicenter. But as I said, I am not in. I cannot do that. Could someone please do that?
Okay. Sure. And it's the same as fireball, so the range is 120 feet, isn't it?
I can roll a fireball without expending a spell slot for you to do damage and everything.
Thank you.
So don't consume a spell slot, but that's when they're looking.
Dex saving throw.
Nice damage.
Yeah.
It's nice damage. It's rolled a 20 on his dex, so it's half that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So 16. It catches him. You see him disappear, and you see this pungent green gas seems to ignite for a second. Saves on these. Oops. That's an 11. That's a fail. For these worm-like masses. You engulf them and they lose their shape. They sort of almost collapse into this pile of worms and then reform back up into these zombie-like creatures. You hit him, you hurt him, and he looks up and realizes where you are. You see what's left of his cheeks seem to pull up as if he's trying to grin, but he's already grinning because he has no lips. Anyone else? Last chance, and then surprise is over.
Oh, I haven't shot anything. I'll, if we've cast fireballs and shit, then I might as well fire an arrow.
Go for it.
Let's have a look, man. I'm going to shoot out Papido.
Okay. Because you love him.
I love him. We'll have advantage, I guess, from hidden.
Yeah, you will. That might be a hit. 27.
Let's do some damage. Let's get some sneak attack in there. Let's find sneak attack. There it is. So a 9 and 11.
Got him. Nice. I mean, the arrow hits. You hit him where his heart would be. It penetrates, and it just seems to ooze this green liquid. And again, he's still standing. It would have killed the living person. Is everyone gone?
I'm holding pass without a trace, so I'm not going to cast anything else.
I'm not going to cast anything else. Okay, it's initiative time then. Initiative, please. Okay. Top of the round. Oh, look, he's first.
Shit house.
No one's more surprised than me. No one's more surprised than me. You see him. He moves to the edge of the ship, but it is quite slippy, and you have slowed him because of that slippiness. So he's going to use his action to dash, and he leaps across and then begins to climb. And that is all of his movement. He cannot do anything else, but I would like Rodin.
No.
As he approaches, the stink of him is rock. Absolutely.
Surströmming.
Yeah. It catches you right in the back of the throat. Can you give me a DC 14 con saving throw?
I failed.
Oh. You are poisoned, I'm afraid. I don't believe you take any damage, but you are poisoned for 1 minute. Ignore the DC 16. Yeah, you are poisoned for 1 minute. While poisoned, you can't regain hit points.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Not great.
But what about your armor?
It's not poison resistant, sadly. Armor's good for making sure I don't die, but if the guy stinks, oh, that's...
You hear Papido, so Papido would like the cannons fired now. And you see this drow sort of confusedly wander around. It goes to where the cannon should be, and there's a big hole. So it kind of staggers back to this one at the other side of the ship and fires it off into the sea. Just do anything useful. You've really screwed them up with all of this clever planning and such. Yeah, you see the strange mass of worms. Does not seem to be so held back by the effect of the water. It will come to the edge of the ship, and you almost see it like form into this spout of worms that just sort of arcs over.
Like a worm slinky.
A worm slinky slinks onto the rocks and then reforms as a zombie. But again, that is all it can do, unfortunately, because I wasn't expecting to fight you in this way. Jodin, you're in the stink zone right now, buddy.
Yeah, I suppose his immediate turn would just start with him going.
Roll for gag
Oh.
reflex.
Oh god, he smells so bad. And then I'm going to take the chance. I suppose it would be a tiny bit silly to. We pretty much cleared the ship. I don't have to keep belting the ship.
The ship's done. The ship's done. Yeah.
Well, I would like to sear it in half. Sear it, shear it, shear it. Searing is cooking, and you can't.
No, you can't have it. You're gonna just.
Yeah, I want to cut it in half. I want that visual. I want to see the D&D Titanic go down.
Do it when everything else is dead.
Yeah, for fun.
Yeah. You do realise when you set off that black powder, it did do another like 3d10 damage, right?
Ooh.
To your fireball.
I
I
did.
probably forgot to announce it, but it did.
You didn't. And I was worried what that 3d10 was.
That's what. Yeah.
That's very tasty. Thank you. Thank you for telling me. I am going to. Do I have it prepared? I do. Thank Christ. I'm going to Misty Step.
Okay.
Let's go here. It works. I can see me. It doesn't always happen.
Cool.
And then I'm going to Firebolt Bapido. In fact,
what
I'm
did
not,
he ever do to you?
I'm not going to Firebolt him. I'm going to Mind Slither him.
Oh.
So can he make a DC 15 intelligence save for me, please?
DC 15 intelligence save. It's magic, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh.
Bugger. Oh well, nothing happened.
Shit.
Nothing
Should
at
be
all?
August.
Nope. Cantrip.
Oh, is that showing? Anything else from
nope.
you?
I suppose that's it.
We're nearly at time, but we'll go through the rest of the turn and then we'll call it Surdy.
Okay, so I was laying prone. But Matt, before I start, could you move Ambrose up so he's straight after me, like he's supposed to be, so I have to roll him separately on the initiative markers. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, so I'll get up and use half my movement, and I shall run into combat with my Eclavat. And as I'm running in, as a bonus action, I'll cast Hunter's Mark on Peter.
Okay. Is marked.
Be careful, Sodi. He smells worse than Ambrose's farts.
I forgot about those parts.
And I shall attack him. Ah!
Go for it. Well, you first of all, can you make me a DC 14 con saving throw, please, as
I
you
can
enter
try.
this stinky haze? You can try. Oh,
Yeah, I smell
you are
too many farts from Ambrose. Don't worry about this nonsense.
You're now
Have
immune
advantage
to.
on that roll.
Yeah.
Well, you now cannot be affected by that. So yeah, go ahead, make your attack.
First attack.
That'll be a miss, sadly.
second
I
attack.
mean, you're not poisoned, but it still stinks. So
Nope, same again.
no.
Never mind.
Just seeing him again, risen up once more from the dead, you swing and he just seems to dodge and laugh. Torpedo is invincible.
So Ambrose is going to run him down and take a bite at it.
Can't say Frambrose as well, please.
Yeah. Oh no.
He's poisoned and cannot recover hit points whilst poisoned.
Okay, but he shall bite anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Oh,
What's going
so
on?
unlucky.
Same roll 3 times. Never mind.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm brave you ran in, and that's all I'm doing.
Okay. Okay. Sev.
God, he's only injured. I'll do what I know. And
Climb up the crow's nest.
yeah. Short bow +2. 23. It's a hit. Is that right?
Yeah. No, I thought Hazel was missing from the initiative. 23. It's a hit. Roll damage.
6 damage plus. Plus. 20
Ooh.
sneak attack damage.
Wow. 32. That's a really solid hit. Really solid. He's looking injured now.
And that's what I'll do. That's it.
Pretty solid. Pretty solid. Darendil, who's controlling Darendil?
Is it worth him making the poison throw if he's immune to poison?
Both is immune to poison. He should be fine. How is he immune to poison?
That's what it says on his sheet.
It's a Quaggoth thing.
Fair enough.
Is it possible to make a yeet roll?
You can do a shove.
How do we do that? Strength?
It's athletics.
Even better.
Athletics versus athletics, I think. Or athletics. It's your athletics versus his.
Oh, that's not me.
No, that's me. Is it still not rolling for you?
Yeah. Oh, it's equally bad.
Bit better.
You push. You shove him back 5 feet. He's on
Not
the
worth
edge.
it.
Well, it's not. You've still got another attack, haven't you?
Oh, he does have multi-attack. I never know how that works when you do something other than the claw.
I always take a shield attack as just replacing an attack. Personally, don't know what other GMs think.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Do a little bit of damage or just try again?
Hit him with
A bit
claws.
of damage.
Darendil smash.
Someone whose buttons actually seem to
Oh,
work.
actually, you can choose to have him knocked prone or 5 feet away. So actually, it's up to you. Doesn't have to move 5 feet away. You could knock him prone.
I'll knock him prone.
Just push him over.
Okay, yeah, you push him over then.
Because then I'll get advantage on the claw, right? Yeah.
You will. Yeah.
Except I can't roll, so yes, please.
Oh, I can't. I can just see his character sheet. Won't let me roll it.
Weird. You want to do a claw attack?
With advantage.
2 just in case he gets a crit. No. Just a hit though. D6 plus 3. Hits him. Digs his claws into him.
That's all he'll do. So me again.
It's a tinker.
This is becoming problematic. So what I would do is use my bonus action to do Form of Dread to get 1d10 plus 4 temporary hit points.
Hmm.
And then I would use my action to...
You get 14 temporary hit points.
Sweet. I want to Tasha's Mind Whip him.
Okay. What level's that?
Second.
Second. Okay. DC 15 intelligence saving throw. Intelligence not his strong suit. That's a roll. That was 6 with advantage, so yeah, he fails. 3d6 psychic damage.
And
Yeah. And?
Can't take a reaction until the end of its next turn, and on its next turn it must choose whether it gets to move, an action, or a bonus action. It only gets one of the 3.
Wow. That's harsh, but nice.
I'm going to move in a little bit closer. Apparently I can move, and that is all I can do on Foundry today.
Very weird.
I've
Very
sent
weird.
you a fun little question for you to roll.
Yeah, that's why I got closer.
Okay, fair.
To these zombies sort of shambling towards the edge of the ship, which is partially destroyed, and they just step off and drop into the water out of sight.
Monsters
going to-
don't know what they're doing.
They're going to Pirates of the Caribbean-us, though.
Zombies don't. Yeah, you see
Find
this
the
other
zombies.
worm thing fountain across the worm slinky across onto the land, and then moves up towards Derendil. He's the closest.
Should have put the hide armor on him.
His
'Cause
armor
that
class is 13, so
13.
that hits, yes. So, that is 16 to hit with 13 points of damage to Derendil. And then as it claws into him, it seems to, like, the head seems to, like, lose its form and then reform with it looking at you, Serdi. And you just see its mouth, its face opens, and you just see this worm shoot out towards you.
Oh no.
You passed. You step aside. This thing just drops past. You can see that it's got this sort of maw with circular razor sharp teeth in a circle. Yeah, lucky.
Step on it as it
Escape.
falls to the floor behind me. Just
I probably would.
Would you?
Yeah. Malice. See another zombie drop into the water.
With the tidal wave that I can form, how precise can I be with that? Because
I don't know. What does it say?
Because it's flood.
What's the area that it covers?
All my life. Sorry, it's now not letting me scroll to the info. That's great.
Is it a tidal wave spout or is it control water?
So it's control water. So it's within flood. Area to rise by as much as 20 feet. This area includes the shore flooding water spills onto dry land. You choose an area of large body of water and instead create a 20-foot tall wave that travels from one side of the area to the other and then crashes down. So that would, if we follow that word by word, it has to go over the entire island.
Well, it depends which direction you're moving it in, doesn't it?
Well, to get any of the three that we're actually fighting, it would have to. Now,
Yeah.
if I do that, does Water Walk help a lot in being able to...
Yeah, because you instantly go on top of the water and they won't find it difficult terrain.
But will
It might ping them up through the water wave though, but
yeah, no, frick it. Let's not try.
It's only Serdi and Darendale.
I'll walk up. God, I actually need to be. So I don't have to be quite that far, but I'll be close to Tink because I know that makes her feel better. And then I'll go for turn undead or destroy undead if they're under whichever CR it is.
Okay. What's the saving throw?
A wisdom saving throw DC 14.
And what CR do you explode?
I'm trying to... Can't.
You can't.
Oh, one second. At 5th level, undead fails a saving throw against your turn undead feature. It is instantly destroyed if it is DR half or lower. At 8, no, I'm at 7th. I'm not at 8th level, so unless they're CR 0.5.
Okay, and do they have to move away? Is it as an action?
So if it's turn undead, for its action, it can only use the dash action or try to escape from an effect that prevents it from moving. There's nowhere to move. It can use the dodge action.
Okay. You see these two masses of worms. They seem to turn in almost inside out. You see them sort of turn into themselves. And what is one moment is the face, the next moment you're looking at the back of the head of this thing. It has inverted itself and they are about to retreat. But Papido is just like, Papido, he's invincible.
We were only fighting him instead of the others though, so...
Anything else? You are only fighting him. Yeah, you did a good job of reducing it. I'm just going to take Papido's turn just as the last one, and then we will finish. Just to, leave it on a...
He's got something horrible he wants to show us.
Oh, sorry. I meant to say, could you do me a DC 14 Dex saving throw for Derendil? When he claws him, this ichor sprays out of the wound. Actually, you don't need to roll it because it's poison and he's immune. So you see this noxious green substance just spurt out of the wound, and it goes on Derendil, but he's not bothered by it because he's immune to poison for some reason. I need to look that up because I don't remember that. But must be a Quaggoth thing.
He's
But yeah.
otherwise not very useful, so he just came to the right fight.
Yeah, exactly. So Torpedo swings a bony, ichor-covered hand at Serdi.
He hit.
23 to hit.
Definitely hits.
That is 18 acid damage.
I'm resistant to acid.
Therefore, it is half. And as he claws you, he grabs onto you and just pulls your face towards his. I'm guessing that misses.
Life drain.
See him start to suck the air, and you feel your life force sort of pull away from your body, but he didn't hit, so you don't need to roll that. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
But he doesn't get close enough. You don't let him get close enough.
Pull away. Knock his hand off me with a shield.
And we will leave it there if you like.
Very grateful I chose Black Dragon as my aspect
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Clutch.
I bet you are. Yeah, very clever. Very clever, all of you. That would have been a very different fight without your genius moves. I expect nothing less.
Very happy with my.
I had every faith. It was good. Tidal waves blowing up dark
Below
powder.
deck explosions.
Yeah, washing the zombies over the side. Very good. Very good.
Very cool.
I like to
Thanks,
think it was
Matt.
the case like when Jordan was casting with his manifest mind, it probably would have looked like he was casting fireball as normal, and then just nothing happens. Everyone's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then it just like the whole below deck explodes out. And they're like, "Oh,
Oh, his spell didn't work. Boom.
That was
Yeah.
absolute clutch use of the manifest mind there, Jim. It was brilliant.
oh, that's
Really good.
Right.
I hope you
Great.
felt that was fair. Me like making you roll an Arcana check, because I think
no,
You just-
yeah, I'm
it's so you don't cast it in something, and then I think it wouldn't work. So
I was alright with it,
it's like a risk reward thing, isn't it? Yeah.
which seems to be a lot of Jordan's things, especially with the the telepathic feedback feature that I don't seem to have at the minute.
What have you multi-classed into?
Artificer,
Ah, nice.
because I'm reading Victor's book, so I thought it made sense.
That does make sense, yeah.
Oh, so
And
you,
also multi-class next level. Because I've invested heavily in Drake Warden so I can ride Ambrose, and then I want to become a Cavalier fighter.
You have to take the mounted combatant feat as well, because that was very helpful for Herd when we were above ground in Icewind Dale.
yeah, it was.
Right in Belkin.
Sorry, I'm just. If anyone's missing their little individual things, it might be because we've imported the characters. So sorry about that. I will put them.
Right, I didn't want to
Thank you.
particularly use it. It wouldn't have worked out very well for me if I'd have done that when I blew the ship up.
Okay, I think everyone should have it. We just need to give. What did Serdi have?
Also, yes, apparently immunity to poison is just a Quaggoth thing.
Oh, okay. That's never came up before, so there you go. He was the right boy to send into the zone.
Yeah.
What are the odds?
Quite high, it seems.
Acid resistant paladin and a poison resistant fighter. I mean, we have the front line sorted there.
Exactly. Exactly. Very cleverly played.
It was also nice earlier. having an intelligence-based character that is supposed to be smart and coming up with ideas and plans. It's like, I actually feel like I'm playing an intelligent character rather than being a dipshit who's playing an intelligent character that's an idiot.
That was
we all get that, except
Yeah.
Hazel. She's
yeah.
a
I was
genius,
always I struggled with that with Threadreader. It's like I'm supposed to be clever.
it's
Just
hard to
It's
it's
I
hard to
can't
play
think of
someone
anything
that's
clever.
cleverer than you. That's always
Yeah.
going to be hard. It's very easy to play someone stupider than you, as I have learned. Although you're probably wondering which character that was, because it could be any of them. Yeah, no, very well played. Very well played, everyone. That fight would have been really tough, but
It's not over yet.
like drawing it through it, no, it's not. But I think you're in the clear, to be honest. But yeah, very, very beautifully played. And I've got to say, not the map's not bad considering I just had to use
I
AI
was
to
just about to
generate
say
it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing actually.
Yeah.
Very good captaining, B.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was a cool idea. It was a cool plan. You all used your different skills to just make it really hard for them. It was spot on. Well done. Yeah, you deserve to make a mess of them.
Mhm. Nice to
That
be
man.
back.
It's good to be back. Yeah, it's good
But
to be back.
it's a cracking like re-entry into Out of the Abyss.
Hopefully, well, I think the one thing I'm going to do moving forward, I've thought about it, is that if you ever if anyone ever says something that is close to what's happening, or says what's happening, and it's right, I'm going to give you inspiration, because I just think for the sake of the story, it's probably, your character's latched onto an idea, and it kind of makes sense that to let you run with that, but also give you the reward for actually guessing what's right. You might already be going, what did I say? I'll have to rewatch it.
I suggested Victor was turning people into walking bombs, basically, to nuke the shit out of the Feywild.
Mm. Yep.
Why would he do that?
Because he's blaming Tink for his daughter going missing in the Feywild.
What did Tink do? Why is he blaming? Oh, so I'm loving the story that I don't. It's exciting.
But what? Sorry.
What I'm loving the story. What did Tink do to make him so mad at her?
Lost his daughter. Didn't she
But
come
it
from
wasn't really her, was it? Was it? I can't hear you. Veronica.
You're muted.
I didn't close the door behind me.
Yeah, that's pretty much all you did.
You're born in a barn.
Forgot to, yeah, she was born in a barn, so it's easily done, forgetting to close the door. Pink's just misunderstood. She's not the bad person in all of this. Or is she?
I have to say the Raven Queen encounter was chef's kiss for me.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah, with the music and the artwork, and spot on.
Yeah. Well, I've decided that she's got 3 different forms, and that's just one of them. So you will potentially get to meet the others. And it's occurred to me all the way along with all of your themes of your different characters that there's a lot of crossover. And although your characters, when you first met, it was like they don't have much in common. They're just a bunch of people that have thrown together and are trying to survive. I think the longer it goes on, the more I realise that Sev's sort of goals of the Raven Queen kind of are similar to what Malice is doing, because the Raven Queen isn't just about memories, she's about souls. So she's literally guides souls to the afterlife. She's not all bad. I think people think she's bad, but she wants the proper order of life and death. And she takes it very seriously. So I kind of like it because it kind of does it. The themes keep coming up with all of you, and it's really, it's really nice.
I really love the temptation that you're throwing out for Hazel. Isn't it? Go on, do it. I was kind of going, do it.
I didn't think Hazel would do it, actually.
Not in character. In character, I certainly would have hated it, but I was going, go on!
If I just pull on this string, what are the options?
I like that you went, no, I'm not going to do it. And then suddenly Matt's there going, do it, I can do it for you.
Do
It's
it.
like, oh my God, it's like here God's trying to peer pressure her into doing something.
All the
Much
cool kids are doing it.
for you, isn't it? Go on.
I didn't think you'd do it, but I like putting the option there. I like putting the option there. Because I think that's for Malice to think about, isn't it? I love the idea that she's sat there talking to herself, but also people are like, well, she does that anyway.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
well
well
done.
played. Well played. Right, I will stop the stream then. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Game show
Bye.
wave.
Oh,
Game show wave.
I started waving my